Hello and welcome back to another video on CIPD Level 5 Made Familiar. In this video, we shall take a look at 5CO01 AC3.2, where you have been asked to analyze how people practices could help Chaffinch Group to fill 100% of resident rooms within 6 months. By the end of this lesson, you will have a clear understanding of what the question is asking you to do, how to approach the assessment criteria following the command verb analyze, and finally, how to present your answer to meet all the grading criteria for this AC. With that said, let's dive in. First, let's take a moment to unpack what this question is really asking you to do. In this assessment criterion, you are being asked to look at how people practice connects with other areas of an organization and supports wider people and organizational strategies. In simple terms, the question wants you to analyze how people practices within an organization can contribute to solving a business problem. In this case, the problem is that Chaffinch Group needs to fill 100% of its resident rooms within 6 months. So your role here is to examine and explain how HR or people practices could influence this outcome. But understanding the question is only the tip of the iceberg. To fully meet any CIPD assessment criterion, it is essential to understand the command verb as it determines how your answer will be developed. The command verb in AC3.2 asks us to analyze. This is a command verb you will encounter frequently throughout your CIPD assignments, so developing a clear understanding of it is important. To analyze means to break a topic into its key components and examine how those components relate to one another. In CIPD assignments, analysis requires you to explain how and why different factors influence organizational outcomes. This means your answer should go beyond simple descriptions or listing models. Instead, you should demonstrate the relationships among key ideas and explain their impact on the situation being discussed. Take note that a strong analytical answer applies clear cause and effect reasoning to show judgment, connection, and consequence. For example, rather than simply stating that training improves service quality, an analytical response would explain how improved staff capabilities lead to a better customer experience, which in turn increases occupancy rates. With this understanding of the command verb in mind, we can now take a step-by-step walkthrough on how to approach this question. Using the command verb as the roadmap to constructing your response, successfully answering this question requires that your answer vividly bring out these 4 main sections. 1. Breakdown of information into components. Before you write, you must understand what the main components of the question are. This helps you understand what relationships or links to look out for and where the impacts should be felt. In this case, the 3 main components of the question are people practice, connections, and support. People practice. These include but are not limited to rewards, training, hiring, and onboarding. Connections. This focuses on the relationships or links between the people practice and other areas of the organization. They include the links to the strategy-making function, top table, vertical and horizontal integration, among others. The final component is the support of organizational strategies. Referring back to the question, this is the main goal for Chaffinch Group, to achieve 100% occupancy within 6 months. But how do we get there? Well, support for this goal takes various forms, including policy development, legislative compliance, skills assessment, and many more. Once you have established all the above factors, it is now time to understand how each factor links to the others, and so we proceed to examine the relationships. This is a key part of your assignment as you bring your analysis to life, forming arguments drawn from the previous breakdown. In this section, we will better understand how people practices at Calmere House can link to various areas of the organization to ensure that 100% occupancy is achieved in 6 months. Although there are multiple ways to present your answer, one effective way to explain these relationships is through vertical and horizontal integration in people strategy. Therefore, before proceeding, let us first understand what vertical and horizontal integration in people strategy mean. Vertical integration in people strategy involves directly aligning HR strategies, policies, and practices with the overall business strategy to drive organizational goals. It ensures that HR initiatives such as recruitment, training, and performance management are designed to support, sustain, and execute the company's strategic direction. For example, with Chaffinch's group goal of attaining 100% occupancy at Calmere House in 6 months, People strategies such as learning and development may prioritize training care staff in strong interpersonal and customer service skills, while performance reviews may assess resident satisfaction and family feedback scores. On the other hand, horizontal integration in people strategy entails ensuring that different HR policies and practices are consistent with each other to form a cohesive system. For example, if Chaffinch Group introduces performance targets based on resident satisfaction, then training and reward systems should also support high-quality personalized care. However, if employees are instead rewarded for speed and efficiency of tasks, this would lead to poor horizontal integration. Now that we understand their meaning, let us think critically about how these two integrations, linked to people practices, can create favorable business outcomes for Chaffinch Group. Ask yourself, based on the current issues at Calmere House, which people strategies can the Chaffinch Group apply to ensure proper vertical integration? Similarly, which people strategies can guarantee proper horizontal integration? Will these strategies allow the organization to meet its goal, and how? Once you have identified the links, you can clearly demonstrate this relationship as aligned people strategies lead to better employee behavior and service quality, thus improving resident satisfaction, leading to a stronger reputation and demand, resulting in higher occupancy at Calmere House. In writing, always remember to present your arguments clearly, showing the cause and effect between the practice and the outcome. Take a look at the following illustration. Training and development focused on personalized care could help Chaffinch Group improve occupancy at Calmere House. When staff are trained to understand resident preferences and communicate effectively with families, the quality of care improves. This leads to higher resident satisfaction and positive word of mouth in the community. As a result, more families may choose Calmere House, helping the organization move towards its goal of 100% occupancy. This statement is analytical because it follows a simple, yet effective, four-step chain, linking people practice to employee behavior, then to customer experience, and finally to business outcomes. Similarly, by following these approaches while developing your answer to this AC, you can ensure that your statements are not just descriptive, but analytical. Now, examining relationships is key, but an analysis cannot be complete without providing a weighted argument. In other questions, a deeper analysis is offered in form of pros and cons, providing a weighted argument of different sides to help form a judgment. However, with a question like AC3.2 that lacks a clear roadmap for identifying pros and cons, many students skip this step and proceed directly to making a judgment. The result is often a missed point. So, to avoid this mistake, note that at this point you should provide a balanced critique by examining the barriers to success. Consider the barriers that Chaffinch Group might face when implementing vertical and horizontal integration in people strategies, and how to overcome them. Once you have provided a balanced critique, you should arrive at a conclusion based on reasoned judgment. It is now your opportunity to offer practical recommendations on the range of people practices that could support the achievement of Chaffinch Group's goal. Ensure that your judgment shows an evaluation, prioritization, and conclusion. As we come to the end of the lesson, always keep in mind that to pass this question is as easy as ABC. A. Apply the command verb analyze. Always remember your BEWJ. Break it down. Examine relationships. Weigh the opposing sides. And finally, offer a reasoned judgment. B. Balance your word count. Set a clear word count for each AC before you begin writing, and ensure you stay within those limits when writing. This will help you manage the overall assignment word count effectively. C. Cite and reference. Always support your arguments with evidence from reputable external sources. Ensure you cite and reference at least 2 credible sources. Be mindful of your in-text citations and ensure to apply the year of publication. If you want to see a full example of a top-scoring answer, check out the link in the description below. If this video helped you understand AC 3.2 more clearly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with other CIPD learners who may be struggling. Thanks for learning with me, and see you in the next one.